at this last week. When we unveiled the mystery, we looked at the ultimate goal of most salespeople. Top salesmen don't just close deals, they do with fewer touches. You know, sometimes, because of inexperience, people take a long time to close deals. But if you get the hang of it, from the very first time you're speaking with a prospect, you're actually working on your closing. I've said it to us severally that the minute you meet a prospect, the very first meeting, what you need to do is you outline, in the course of talking to them, you're telling them, oh, I sell land. These are the things that I have, lands, houses, whatever. If the person indicates interest or even gives you a listening ear, listen very well to what they say and what they don't say. It's more about what they don't say and less about what they actually say. I told you guys, the first meeting is where they will tell you the challenges they have with buying that particular product from you. It's a human nature thing. The minute you say, oh, Acropolis at the fair, the man will tell you, or the woman will say, a better far place. That place that, you know, is difficult to get to. This is the Juleki Expressway that the road is not good. You know, all the things they are going to say in that meeting, it appears unrelated. Sometimes it will appear like a joke. But those, you see those things they say to you at that first meeting, those are the real reasons they don't want to buy it. But that is the ideas they've already had in their heads about Ekpe. So, if you pay attention very carefully and take note of those things, subsequently, you begin to address those concerns one by one. You will win that client over. And in winning that client over, you need to also, on that first meeting, let them know. You see, you begin your closing from the first meeting. You let him know the process. I'm introducing this thing to you. Can you make up your mind now, or do you require time to make up your mind? Those are the things you're saying to the person. You know, if the person is one who can make up his mind immediately, there are people like that. If you're telling them about the thing, they know whether they want it or not. They're hearing it for the first time, but they know whether they want it or not. Immediately they're hearing it. There are those who will require time to go back and consider it. There are those who will require to go and discuss it with someone else before they make up their minds. You know, so paying attention to your clients will make you know what category that person you're speaking with falls into. So that immediately you're telling them, as you're telling the person, say, okay, fine, even if you're going to go and discuss or go and think about it and come back, let me give you an outline of how this process will go. I give you this, I'll send you the flyers, especially for people you don't have their number. There's a way of getting people's number. Sometimes you're talking to people, you tell them, can I have your number? They'll say no. Tell them, you know, don't ask for a number outright like that. It puts some people off. It scares them. They feel that you're going to worry them and worry them to death. So how do you go about it? You simply tell them that, okay, these beautiful things I've talked to you about, let me send them to you on your phone so that you can consider them later. So I would need your WhatsApp number. First of all, I don't give you WhatsApp number, I never give you a contact. That's even the more important contact. You see how you get it? But if you just ask them outside, can I have your number? They'll say no. Usually. So they give you that WhatsApp contact. You say, okay, you consider this. Do you need 2 or 3 days? Or can you take a decision under 1 day or under 1 week? They will tell you the reasonable time for them. You know, each individual varies. They will give you the average time it will take them to come to a decision on what you're offering. Then when they tell you, you know that, okay, if the person says 3 days, if he says 5 days, if he says 1 week, you know that in exactly 3 days or exactly 5 days or exactly 1 week, you're going to try and reach out to that person again. Do you see how it works? Now, you say, okay, fine. After that, after 1 week, sir, I'll call you or I'll reach out to you. Don't use the word call because calling means that they might have to pick your call. They may not have decided. But you say, I'll reach out to you after a week, what mode do you prefer me to reach you on? Do you prefer calls? Do you prefer SMS? Do you prefer WhatsApp messages? Do you prefer email? Do you see how you're putting options in front of them? What you're doing is, you are taking, you're taking charge of that sales process. You're determining what the person should do, and you're giving them options. It looks to them like, wow, I'm getting 5-star service. And that's really what you're giving them. 5-star service. But in giving them that 5-star service, you are limiting the options available to them. Because people, if you don't ask these things, they will leave it open-ended. You don't know when you're supposed to contact them to ask them, how far we thought I have discussed with you. But because you are doing something now, you're putting definite options in front of them. And you're putting a definite time in front of them. And you're doing it courteously. They love what you're doing. They'll just be going along the ride with you. Then they tell you, yes, okay, you now tell them that when you consider, the next thing I'd like for us to do will be to go for an inspection, to go and see this actual land that we're talking about. Can you be available to see this land during the week or over the weekend? Do you see again options? The man thinks about it and says weekdays. Or he says weekdays I'm in the office. Weekends, you say good, Saturday is it then. How is Saturday for you? Always make it look like it's their decision, but you already know that Saturday you won't get and go there. Do you see what I'm talking about now? This is closing skills. You are not telling me Saturday, is it? It's okay, because they already told you Monday to Friday I'm in the office. So Saturday it is then. And they agree with you on a Saturday. You tell them that, okay, normally the vehicle, again, something that scares people for inspection is they worry. So I will not take my vehicle, drive all the way to Ekpe. You let them know very quickly too. The office has vehicles that take people there on Saturdays, but that vehicle leaves the office by 10. So you will need to be at the office by 10. So confirm a date for me. Do you want this Saturday or next Saturday so that I can book a spot for you in that vehicle ahead? You see the way you're narrowing the choices for them. They will choose whether this Saturday or the upper one. Whichever one they choose, you book a space ahead. And actually do that booking, because you don't know the number of people that might want to go. And the office will make arrangements for those people. Don't think that any Saturday, anytime you like, you just bring your own clients and mess up the program that they've already arranged. So for your own clients' comfort too, book that time ahead. Once you do that booking ahead, and on that, you ask the next question. Where do you stay, sir, ma'am? Where do you stay? How easy will it be for you to come out? Can you come out early enough, or do you need me to meet you at some point? Do you know that some people, even after making the appointments, on that day they will disappoint you? Saturdays, it's not easy for people to wake up from bed. I'm sure, even for us here. Abi?
Yes.
It's not as if they have anything to do on that day. Or somewhere along the line, one wedding invitation just came in, or one function. And they just think, can't I move this thing? But you see, there's something you will achieve by telling them, where can I meet you on the day? Let them know that on that day, I'm going to call you the day before to remind you of the appointment. It's not as if, for some people, they don't need you calling them to remind them, they already know. But because you even call them to remind them of it, makes them to think, this person is serious. So people tend to give attention and audience to someone who they view as serious, more than the one who they think, he didn't even call me, that they make I go and arrange this wedding. Then you now call him on that day, he will tell you, I already promised somebody I'll go to their wedding. I don't know if you guys see how it works now. It's a very, very deliberate set of actions, questions, and events. If you're not deliberate about it, your chances of succeeding will just be up in the air. You may succeed, you may not. But being deliberate about these things increases your chance of success. Because guess what? What you're doing is you're remaining, there's something we'll call in sales, top of mind. If you're top of mind, like Coca-Cola, despite the fact that they are the world's number one selling soft drink, they don't fail to advertise. So they are always in your face. You can't. That's why if you ask people, they want to send a kid, go and buy me Coca-Cola. Maybe it's not Coke you want, maybe it's Pepsi, maybe it's Biggie. But if you try to go and buy me Coke, then they go and buy I wanted Biggie. But you see, Biggie, Pepsi, not to say that they're not advertising, but there's a reason why Coke is number one. Coca-Cola does branding even for people who don't even sell Coke. You can't move. In fact, I think, have you passed any road that's even a little major? Sometimes even inside remote villages, you will see branded shops, Paco shops that are not even proper shops, branded Coca-Cola. Or you see that they are, and they did something. The advert is not, aside the billboards, there's this thing they do with aluminium or something, Coca-Cola, you give it to somebody in one off location. Or you go there, you see a Coca-Cola cooler. You understand what I mean? But one of the most widespread soft drinks is Coca-Cola. They are deliberate. Very. So you also need to be deliberate. You need to be like that. So now you arrange for the inspection. Call them, pre-call before the day to remind them. And on that day, call them in the morning. And then, if possible, travel from where you are to where they are. So that if they see you and they are planning before to just hold on a bit and give you one excuse. Because you are there in person, they tend to give you their attention. They realize that you are actually serious. Now, you've taken away the burden of them having to drive their vehicle all the way from wherever they live to a bed, and from there you come with them to the office. Do you see how you're making sure that they have come? And now you take them. There's something that in the course of selling, you've been telling them beautiful stories about Acropolis, about Ekwe. Then they come into the company premises, join the company vehicle, and the vehicle takes everyone to Ekwe. They get there, they see the land. And when you get there, allow them a little time to take it in for themselves. Don't keep talking immediately. People need to think of things for themselves. Let me tell you what usually happens when you allow people to reason for themselves. A little. That time that you allow them, you get to a bed, they get down from the vehicle. You maybe just let them know, we're here, sir, we're here, man. Take a look around. Beginning from here, all this way. Give them some moments to take it in. What that does is, if they look at it and they have questions on some things they need clarity on, they would ask you by themselves. But if you start talking immediately, they may not ask you those questions again. And the answers, when they ask you questions by themselves and you're providing the answers, then it makes more sense to them than when you just come and, you might be rambling on and you think you're giving them beautiful information. This is the food hub will be located here. Ekwe International Fish Market is there. It's beautiful information you're giving, but is it what that client requires? That's a question mark. It may be, it may not be. But allow them to observe and take in things and then ask you their own questions. Then if you give them some time and they're not asking you questions, you prompt them. What do you think, man? What do you think, sir? Does it meet your expectations? Prompt them to speak and say something. don't start rambling. Because you don't know whether you're going to be rambling in the right direction or in the wrong direction. Am I making sense so far?
Yes.
So, by the time you allow this process to happen this way, whatever they're asking you will be their genuine concerns. And as you're giving them responses to these concerns, you're meeting them at the point of their needs. So the chances of your concluding that sale is higher. Remember, from the first meeting, you've given them an idea of how the process will be. But you've already told them beforehand that after the inspection, I will give you the subscription form. So you can complete the subscription form. So while you're there, they've looked at all of these things. You can now say to them, okay, are we good to go? Ask that question. Is it okay for you? Let them tell you whether they are satisfied or not. You need to ask. Don't take somebody to inspection and you don't ask them how it was. Then you won't know whether they want to buy or whether they don't want to buy. You will never know. Make sure you ask that question. How was this experience for you? Did it meet your expectations? Are there questions I could answer for you? Anything, you let them know. Okay, if there is even somebody from the company that is around, say, even if I cannot answer any question you're asking, the members of the company are here. So whatever questions you may have, sir, ma'am, ask, and you will get the answer. Otherwise, we'll get to the office, and I'll get a subscription form for you. You can complete the subscription form, and then you ask them. You see that part of payment is another place where people find it hard to ask. I tell you, see, again, the same way you've been doing from the beginning, you now ask them. So when it's after subscription form, the next thing should be payment. How do you intend to pay? Is it by check or bank transfer? Or how do you want to do it? Put that question across to them, they will give you the answer. If you don't know how to ask them, sir, it's time to pay. Sir, you are drawing mark on the ground with your leg. Yes, it's time. How do you want to pay, sir? Again, put options in front of them. Check, bank transfers, money order. What's this one that they used to do for JAM that time? If you want to do JAM, they'll tell you, bank draft. Ask them, you understand? Put all these options in front of the man, or in front of the woman. Put the options. Do you understand? So it doesn't seem awkward anymore. It seems to just flow and blend in with the rest of activities and the rest of the things you've been telling them. And you appear more professional because to them it's like you've thought of all the available options and you're putting it in front of them. And the man will tell you, I can do transfer or I can write it. And remember, along the line, we've discussed whether he's making full payment or not. So, put these options in front of him. If he's someone who is doing installment, you say, okay, what percentage of the installment are you doing now? Can you do about 50? You know why I'm asking you to do about 50, sir? You know why I'm asking you to do about 50? You let them know, because if you pay more now, the balance you have to clear will not be so much, and it will be easy for you to clear. Don't make it like, pay more, because so that at least I shall say you must complete the payment. Your idea, your aim is to get him to put that leg in. And once he does that, you are sure that, okay, one leg is in, this man don't go anywhere again. But you have to make it nice. Let them know. I always suggest to my clients, to tell them, I always suggest to my clients and prospects to actually deposit more than 50%. And the reason is simple. You might have other things to do in future. So that when you think about the balance you have to pay, it will not be something so heavy as to affect any plans you might have for other activities. I don't know if you guys understand me. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Advise them to pay more. Not the one you say, okay, pay. Yeah, the company says minimum of 10%. Abi? But if they can pay more, if the person can pay more, you encourage them to do so. And then you see, and when again you can tell them, so if you pay more than 50% or up to 50%, and then you spread the balance, maybe someone paying over 3 months or 6 months. When you spread the balance you have to carry for the remaining period will not be smaller than if you paid, let's say, the 10% and you have 90% to pay. Let us even look at this thing a little bit. Because assuming how much is Acropolis now? 6 million. The person wants to make a deposit. Let us say the company says minimum of 10% deposit. If that's what the person can afford, this 10% is what? 600,000. If that's what the person can afford, good and fine. There's nothing wrong with it. And let's say he wants to pay the balance over 6 months. Now, and at the point where you just finish your inspection and you're telling the person, if you like it, pay more than 50% if you can. Let us say the man agrees to pay, let's say, even that 50%, 3 million. He pays 3 million now. 3 million now. And then installmentally he has 3 million to pay. So 3 million over 6 months, how much would that be? 500 per month, right? That's 500K per month. But if he pays, let us say the 600,000, how much will be balance remaining? 5.4 million. Now, 5.4 million over 6 months will be how much? Say? How much would it be month on month over 6 months? Divided by 6. Sorry? No, it will be more than that. Dividing 5.4 million by 6. 900K. So he's going to have to pay 900K per month. Now look at these two. In this first instance, he pays 50% down. And he's now having to pay 500K per month for 6 months. Oh, here, he pays 600K down. He's having to pay a whopping 900K per month, almost 2 times that. Now, the man might have a good plan to carry this. And let's say along the line, something that happens. Maybe he has to meet one emergency funds. Maybe some business opportunity comes up, and the money he has budgeted, he has to use it for that. And he now truncates this payment. Chances are that he will default here. But if it is this, it's easier for him to carry. Do you understand? So, for that reason, always advise your clients to put down a larger chunk. And then, the rest of it will be easy for them to carry. So at this point, you now ask for payment. When they make payment, you have already closed that deal, really. But the process is not done. And they make payment, you also have to ensure receipts, deed of assignments, survey, every document. You have to follow up to ensure that your client gets all their documents. And you also confirm the date allocation will be done. It's your duty. Because the person has been enjoying your service so far, and you have to keep it that way. Confirm the date that the allocation is going to be done. Inform the person. Let me tell you something. Before allocation is done, companies usually will call the clients directly. But do you know that it will be more appreciated by the client if you call them before even the company calls them? Do you know what it tells them? It tells them that even though they have paid money and you have collected your commission, you still have them in your mind. And on that day, try. Make it a priority and be there. Don't let them go to that allocation by themselves. Be there, except you really have something that won't allow you to be there. Be at that allocation when they are located. And then they know that, yes, truly, you are one to deal with. And if you follow a person on that journey to that point of allocation, I can assure you of something. They will refer people to you. You don't have to ask them for the referral. On their own, they know you are one to do business with. And they will refer people to you. We did this last week, right? Yes. So now I've told you the smooth story of closing sales. Let's now look at the things on the board. And as we go along, connect what I have told you with what you're seeing. At this point, we've passed this, you emphasize benefits, you ask the right questions, connect your product value to buyer objectives. Promote a sense of urgency. When you're talking with clients, always give them that sense of urgency. Let them know. Sometimes, some clients are ready to buy, but they're just delaying. They're just undecided. They're just holding back. Let them know sometimes, this price as it is will persist for some time, but there will be increase. Don't do it in a way that they say, if increase comes now, let it go now. You have to be subtle about the way you do it. The thing about sales is you are taking charge, but you're not letting people, you're making the prospect or the client believe that they are in charge. You have to be subtle. Okay? You have to be subtle about it. Once you get a grasp and understand the process to closing deals, then you can modify and tweak the processes according to the particular situation in which you find yourself. I described the process from the beginning to the end, from the first meeting with a client up until the end. Mind you, in your sales process, it will not be as smooth as I described. Do you understand? It wouldn't be that smooth. Don't think it's that easy and everything follows, A, B, C to Z. Sometimes you start with A. The next thing you meet is Z. Then sometimes you start with A. The next thing you see is M. And then they'll bring you back to B. You will continue C, D, E. The next thing you see is Q. Their sales processes can be like that. But however it goes, do you know what matters? You must maintain your steez. Even as a salesperson. Because you know why it happens like that? Sometimes you're trying to sell something. Maybe you're trying to sell Acropolis to. You meet a certain man. You're there, you're trying to sell Acropolis to the person. Immediately you open your mouth, the person tells you, I know already about Acropolis. What do? Do you stop selling? No. So what do? Yes, you will continue, but how will you continue? Because that person is coming from a place of knowledge. You see that basic thing of I'm giving you the information, you have to skip that part. I don't know if you guys understand, because that person already knows much about it. So if you're going over it, you're wasting the person's time. That's the truth. And some people won't stand for it, they'll leave you and go. What you do quickly, somebody comes up and they know it, you say, do you really know this? Okay, you know this very well, sir. You know all the information. Oh yes, I know this. You probe. That's what we call probing. In sales, we do a lot of probing. Do you really know this? You know about this? You know about that way you use it to appraise yourself of the level of knowledge that person has of your products. I don't know if you understand what I mean. You come across someone who already knows about what you're trying to sell. You don't stop selling. But rather you probe, find out how much they know. Don't waste time about it so that you can quickly, once you grasp the extent to which they know about your product, you move to the next stage. It makes it faster for you. The elementary knowledge that you have to give them, it makes it faster. It's like common entrance when they do from primary 4 and go to JS1 immediately. You skipped classes. So that's why I said the sales process is not always, going to follow step by step as you have written it in your book. What matters is your ability as a salesperson to grasp the situation and fly with it. Don't just walk with it or run with it. Fly with it. Because when you're flying means you really understand you're at home, whatever the situation. And you go on like that, and at the end of the day, you achieve what you want to achieve. Other people may have tried to sell to them and fail, but you can sell to even someone who knows more about the product. And that in that situation, when you're telling them things about the product, you're telling them that, you know this already. Because you know this, do you have any objections why you haven't, bought? Those are the kind of questions you should be asking them. Since you know about Acropolis, sir, why haven't you bought into it? Then they will tell you, these things I've been hearing stories from real estate salespeople all the time. Then you know what you're going to address. Do you understand? When you're up against someone who knows, at no point should you act like you know more than them. Once you allow them to keep making it like they are the ones teaching you your job, they will buy from you. The minute you try to show them, sir, no, that thing you're saying, you're losing it. Maybe they know. Let them teach you. But after teaching you, let them buy. They will be the ones who even tell you about the value and the benefits of a pet. Then if you know all of this, why haven't you bought? Then you put options before them. Is it funds? Do you want to spread your payments? Are you interested in the position? Sometimes some people know everything. And you now ask them, is it about where you want to be allocated? Is there a particular portion you love? Do you want to be at a corner piece? Do you want to be at any portion? That sometimes that's the challenge that makes some people not buy. You have to think and put some things that will entice them. Every person in this life get what they like. Every human being on earth, something must make a person move from point A to B. You can find it. What do? You grow. So, whatever situation you find yourself, grow. You see that thing called grow? Let me write it there on the board so you guys understand what I mean when I say grow. See this word, probe. Can somebody just maybe Google probe and read for us what it really means? I know we have dictionaries now full. Probe means not-ended. Can you use it?
A thorough investigation into a crime or other matter, like a probe into city hall corruption. It's also synonymous to investigation or inquiry, or examination or scrutiny, or inquest, exploration, study, research. And it's also an unmanned exploratory spacecraft. I think the first one I said was
all of them are correct. And all of them fit into what we're talking about. You see why I say probe. Probe, when they say they send a probe to the moon, an unmanned equipment that flies, lands on the moon and starts working and taking samples and showing pictures of what is happening on the moon. That's a probe. It means inquiry, examination, investigation, research. Do you understand? Explore. So whenever you're with people, as you're trying to sell to somebody, always probe. Do you understand? That probe lets you know whether you're heading in the right direction or not. If you're not heading in the right direction, it will show you. A person begins to talk about the things they want, and you, whereas what you prepared talks about a different direction. Once you find out that what they are looking at is different from what you are looking at, you adjust. Because the only reason you will find out and know how to adjust It's because you actually probed. But if you don't probe, you won't ever know that you're heading in the right direction or in the wrong direction. The techniques, use of pricing. You see, why do you use pricing? It's always best to discuss pricing in detail. Discuss pricing in detail. These are closing techniques now. On useful information, so as to pass useful information, I will assist prospects to make the right decision. Discuss pricing in detail. Where possible, ask them, what prices have you been offered? Some people will tell you what your competitors have given them, others will not. But whether they tell you or not, you have to use pricing to get there. Always send your prospect on an official sales proposal. Remember, that official sales proposal, in our own case now, remember at the point where I was described, I said, when you're with the client, you're talking with after telling them, tell them that I will send to your phone the flyer and the details about the land. That's an official communication right there. Because you're going to sell them all the official information, everything they need to know. You're going to say to them, and then when the person relaxes, they can go through, always send them this official sales proposal. So it's a means of acquiring people's numbers that ordinarily, if you ask them, can I have your number? They say no. They're thinking of phone calls. But when you're telling them, I'm going to send you this information, they will take it so that they can say, I'll send it to you so you can consider it in your own free and quiet time and come up with your best decision. Now, it's always advisable to provide your prospect with multiple pricing options. What does that mean? Where you have more than one thing to give them that more than one. You know why? And more especially in our Nigerian market. It's the world over though, but Nigerians do it particularly. If you give a Nigerian something to buy, they will ask you, let's say the thing is worth 1,000 naira. You don't go for 800. It's in us. And it's not wrong, it's very correct. Do you understand? But when you say this one is 1,000, this other one is 800. Which do you prefer? You've taken that pricing away by giving options. There's Acropolis and then there's a second one, the Imperial Enclave. Tell the prospect that, see, we have 2 properties in Ekpe I can give you. I'll give you, when you're sending that information, you're sending them Acropolis, you're also sending them Imperial Enclave. So, what now happens after you've given them the 2 properties? Instead of you to send them, Imperial Enclave is now how much? 5.5. Used to be 3.5, but it now recently went up to 5.5. So, if they want to price, you tell them, this one is in a different location, you go to Ekpe. This other one is where? K2 Ekpe. Do you understand? They're both Ekpe. Do you see? But one is at Ikodu, one is at K2. You're given options. Once you provide people with options, the chances that they are going to start pricing is reduced or even almost taken away completely. They are not going to be looking at which one is better for me to key into. That's how marketing works. If you give people one product, they go outside to look for a second one. When you give them 2, they are now many people will begin to weigh the 2 you give them. Human beings like to have options. Somehow in the mind is programmed in such a way that if you only tell them about one, they say, you just give me one, and that one I will come go by. But when you give them options, they're like, okay, should I go for this or should I go for that? They are not, you're taking away that possibility or the probability of them going to seek a second property elsewhere. The next sales closing technique, you ask for the sale. Ask. Every top salesman is never hesitant to ask for the sale after concluding the sales process, especially after presentation and pricing. Your prospect might be ready to make a purchase right now. However, they won't close if you don't ask. And your proposal must include a clear call to action. And what's a call to action? You're telling them, do something now, otherwise you lose this opportunity. For those of us that were at the conference, one of the speakers that time, of which my humble self was one at the conference, one of the speakers said, what will it cost you? Let them realize that it will cost them something if they don't key in now. You have to create that kind of mode in their mind. If you don't key in now, they will just stay and they will not key in. Pre-schedule a call, visit appointment with the client to review the contract. Go for inspection. Keep asking them, are you okay with what you've seen? Is it all right? Based on what you've seen, how is it? How do you feel about the property? These are the things you should know. Then, somehow the light is working, decided not to let us have a smooth run with our slides today. But I'm sure they will get it up again shortly. But do you guys understand what I mean? You have to ask for that sale. Remember when I was describing before, remember I said something. I first of all will tell you the story from beginning to the end of it. And then we're not looking at slides. You see that the slides are not supporting the things I've said. You need to ask for the sale. When I was telling the story, at what point did I ask for the sale? At what point did there be the particular time I asked for it? Sir? I described the process from the time you speak with the client first, up until the client after inspection. Yes, you're right, it's at the conclusion, but the precise time was after inspection. You know why? Many times if you try to ask for the sale before you go for inspection, you say, I never even seen it that they pay for. I don't know if that place is swampland. You are telling me it's dry. I haven't seen it. You're telling me it's beautiful. I don't know that. I haven't seen it. So once they see it, then you now confirm from them. That's why I said, at the point that they come with you and they've seen it, at that point now you begin to ask them, okay, how is it going? How did you like it? What do you think about this place? Then by the time you're sure and you've got all your answers, ask for the sale. And how did I ask them for that sale in my description? That time I told that story. How did I ask for the sale? I mean how the words are used. You're right. You must be bold. You must be confident. If you're asking for the sale and you're drawing map on the ground, they know we take you serious. I don't know if you get what I mean. They won't take you serious. You have to look them directly in the eye and get used to it. How did I ask for that sale? How do you want to pay? Do you understand? Instead of you saying, sir, it's time to pay, that you will not be uncomfortable asking. Make it something that's easier. How do you want to pay? Is it by check? Is it by transfer? Is it by bank draft? How? Are you paying 100%? Are you paying outright? Are you paying in installments? If you're paying in installments, how many installments are you looking at, sir? Considering your cash flow, how many installments? Can I propose something to you, sir? I always advise my clients that pay by installments to pay a huge chunk upfront so that the balance will be easier to carry for your own benefit. But however, if you even want to do the minimum that the company asks for, it's good. Do you see? Oh, okay. I need this one. So that's how it works. You must ask for that sale. You fail to ask for the sale, you're leaving money on the table. And what does it do to you as a salesperson? You leave money on the table, you're leaving room for someone else to come and collect money with your own. You don't say every money we enter market and somebody get that. But I know that one. Don't let your money go enter that person handle, or don't let the guy go out. Ask. You see that thing of asking for the sale? You must learn and get used to it. if you can't even say it by word of mouth, you have to sometimes speak with someone around you. I need to ask this man to pay. I don't know how to do it. Let them ginger you. I've said something in one of my classes before. You see us, all of us seated here, as salespeople, we're competing against ourselves, right? But in competing against ourselves, we're also encouraging, supporting ourselves, right? You can support somebody. I don't know how to do it. Give them, tell them. Oh yeah, ask them like this now. Or okay, don't worry. The person might say to you, see, my own client is here. Let them come around so that when I'm asking my clients for the sale, you also key in and do the same. People can assist you when you don't expect it. You have challenges. Ask. Don't just sit there and lose out on your transaction. Though. Prospects usually will want additional clarification or reassurance around the information you provide, especially if multiple decision makers or stakeholders are involved. 60% of sellers say they always put the buyers first. Only 24% of buyers agree. What does that mean? So you might be doing things and you say, I'm thinking of the client. And the client will say, no, you just find your own pocket too. They know that they know the commission you're working for. But you actually have to show them that you're thinking about them. And make them believe it. Listen carefully. Provide thoughtful answers in a timely manner. And when appropriate, ask probing questions. See that word probe again. You can't go wrong as a salesperson if you keep probing. So this will encourage you to quickly drill down to the root of their hesitation and also enable you to gather information. Now, if I'm hearing you correctly, it sounds like you're concerned about flooding. It sounds you're concerned about whether the land is level. It seems you're concerned about whether you'll be allocated. It can be anything. But probing questions will let those problems come out so that you can address them. The next, negotiate with your prospects. After qualifying your prospects, negotiation is key. Very key. They may have hesitations about your price or your competitors' offerings or purchase timing or product fit or even reluctance to commit to change. Do you understand? There are various reasons why they might have hesitations. They might have objections, but if you negotiate with them, the probe will bring out the cost, and then you now negotiate that cost. That's how it goes. There are almost always ways to reframe a new prospect perspective if you approach their concerns in the right way. No matter the concerns they have, address it. Make sure you do. And I always tell people when you're going for meetings, in fact, at all times as a salesperson, you should always have paper and biro with you. If you can't carry, I know women like to carry handbags. In your small handbag, carry a small notepad, no matter how small. Why do you need to carry a paper and pen? Carry it. You see this book now. There are some notepads that can be a third of this size. You can just have them, or even sticky notes. You can buy one, block of sticky notes, keep in your bag. Why? Incidentally, because of your movement, you come across somebody you're discussing something with, you bring it out, and whenever you bring out something, there's something I always do with my clients. I say to them, I hope you don't mind. I'll be making notes as we're discussing so that I don't, miss out on the points you are making. Sometimes take permission. Some people will feel offended you started writing without telling them. But if you and they say, by all means, then you bring it up. As you're talking, scribble things down. Those things you scribble will be the key to your closing that transaction. So negotiate with them. Once you see that negotiation, when they give you the objections and your probe has brought them out, that negotiation is what addresses those concerns. You're battling with what other people are giving them. You're battling with what their mind is doing. You're battling with what the person they're going to consult will say. negotiate with them, and overcome all those challenges. Use the right sales closing techniques. Different prospects require different closing techniques, so you might need to switch up your sales strategy sometimes. Here are some examples. If your prospect expresses price concern, reduce their cost by removing certain product features or offer a value add-on like free documentation. How do you do that in our line of business? You're selling land. If the person is concerned, I cannot pay that 6 million. How much is your commission? Tell the person, if you pay this 6 million, I'll do some cost, I'll bear some cost for you. In as much as this particular one is this 6 million is all inclusive. But tell them that, okay, I can talk to the company, maybe they will discount 5% from you. Or maybe they will just give you a discount. You see, this amount is fixed to, but because you're insisting you must get a discount, let me even offer 100,000 naira discount. It might look like it's small, but when the person insists on getting a discount and you offer 100,000, it's paying 5.9, it's not the company approving, you're paying that out of your commission. He will actually pay 5.9. The company says, his money is not complete, don't worry. I granted that discount. Sometimes there are some MDs that you do that and you say 200,000, don't worry, I'll still give you your full commission. Or if the MD is around, or a senior person in the company that can take certain decisions is around, when your client insists that I must get a discount, otherwise I won't pay. Look, no company likes to have money walk away, especially somebody they see that is ready to pay. When the MD talks to the person, okay, what will make you happy? At that point, let them handle it if he's available there at the time. And these things are best done when they are asking for it. Don't let them go home. The mistake people make is your client is asking for discount. You're telling them, okay, I'll go and work. Don't work at anything. Give a discount from your commission there and then. And they tell you when they go home, they change their minds. Do it on the spot. You already know how much your commission will be. From that commission, remove something, because if you don't do it, you will see 1 naira collect. How do they say half bread is better than? Oh. Instead, your cow will run. It's an evil proverb. Instead, your cow will run. What you go do? Cut the tail. When cow tail pepper soup, na delicacy. No be so? Do you understand? Instead, the whole cow will run. Cut the tail. You hold on. When you reach out, anybody will see you hold cow tail, they will come visit you because everybody wants your cow tail. You hold something. Do you understand? If they insist on the discount, do not hesitate. Think immediately, do your mental calculation about your commission. Let go some part of your commission on the spot. If you can't find a senior person in the company that you can table the matter to, if you can table it to empty. In fact, some other people will immediately call empty. My client is saying, since I don't worry, we'll reach the end of the matter. No. Let me call empty. Call empty. MD. Like you first want to talk with empty. Bring MD abreast of what's going on. When you have done that, you now say, sir, you arrange with empty, which the commission, the discount empty will give, and all the terms about that discount. They say, empty, let me hand the phone to my client so that at least they hear it from you. That time, you now hand the phone to the client. The client will now speak with empty. What you've already agreed with them is what empty will do. And empty will even be happy with you that you're not letting money go away. That's one. Another one you can do. If your prospect has doubts about product fit, cite specific example of what they stand to gain. By signing this contract today, you will become a landowner in Lagos. Who no one own land? Okay, I'll just read out from what I have here. Do you understand? Again, the next one is if they ask, don't forget to ask for the sales again at this point. Give a suitable, straightforward question like, I can offer a special, reduced subscription, payment time of 6 months. Can you commit to this plan today? On the spot. No, I want to come up from where you do. Do these things while I'm there with you. So the next, number 6, closing technique, you follow up with your prospects. If Despite your best negotiation efforts, your prospect asks for more time to consider your offer. Don't argue. The minute they explicitly open their mouth and say, I need more time, give them that time. Do you understand? Before now, you're trying to get them to close on the spot, right? But the minute they say, give me more time, agree. How long should I give you, sir? How long should I give you, ma'am? 3 days? 5 days? 1 week? Try not to go beyond 1 week. I usually will do 3 or 5 days. Can I get back to you in 3 or 5 days? You know, again, I'm giving you options. Either you do 3 days or you do 5 days. They can say 3, they can say 5. Okay, I'll call you. What time? I'll be calling you. That means 3 days, 5 days from now will be by next week, Tuesday. So, can I call you in the morning or afternoon? Do you prefer morning to afternoon calls? Morning time. Okay. What time in the morning are you usually free and settled to take a call? Is it 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 11 o'clock? They will choose. So that, you know, on that day, you most likely when you call, they will pick your call. Because they will remember that they've agreed that you should call by that time. And it makes you more professional. It makes them believe they are thinking of everything ahead. Now, the next one is, you know when to move on. You really have to know. Because if your prospect is still not ready to sign on the dotted line, do your best to revive the deal by contacting them to see if they have any further questions. Now, inquiring about the next step they'd like to take. You ask them, everything is complete. You've seen the gone for inspection, everything. We don't do everything, or remember you pay. But you have not paid. Somehow they're not paying, they're not taking a decision, and they're not telling you what's happening. Ask them what the challenge is. If you're getting frustrated, ask them, do you need more time to make up your mind, man? You need more time, sir. How much time do you want? Is there any particular thing? Can you share your concerns that is, hindering? You can tell them, it appears something is hindering you. I don't know what it is. You know best what it is. But is it something you can share with me? Maybe I might prefer a solution to it. It's your manner of approach. You have to be professional. Don't do it like one busybody. Okay, wait here. We don't talk everything. No one pay. It's the way you approach the client that will make you seem professional enough that they might tell you, man, the money I'm expecting have not come. Some people are expecting money never enter. They will tell you. You're expecting them to commit. They love your product. They will pay you. They have the money, but they just don't commit. Why? Because the money hasn't entered. And they will tell you that. And if you're not careful, you go and be rude to them. You spoil it. That's where, do you need more time? Whatever is keeping you, is it a concern you can share with me? Can I attempt to provide solutions? Can we walk over it together? Those are the kind of language you should be using. Now, you have to also stay focused. And if they say, okay, give me 2 weeks, go to your diary, take your phone, set a reminder. In 2 weeks' time, to call Mr. XYZ. Remind yourself, write the note, write it in your book, so that when it's time, you call, and then you know about it. Then, finally, I now say to us, property buyers and investors will often hesitate about taking on big debts or parting with a large sum of money. The money when they take, they buy land, not be groundnut money, not be biscuit money, not be sweet money. It's a large sum of money. People must hesitate. I don't know if you guys understand. If you want to buy a vehicle, for instance, you think about it. Seriously, you think about it. Is it the vehicle that will be fuel efficient? Is it one that will be, maybe the parts are difficult to get? There are so many questions. How's the maintenance? How's the performance? This one, we have traffic in this country so much. If we stay in traffic, maybe with this vehicle for 30 minutes, will it have an effect on the engine? These are questions you must ask yourself. So, put yourself in their shoes. They are not parting with small money, so they will hesitate. And then, to close more deals in real estate clients, spend extra time talking through their concerns. You see all those probing questions. I've been saying it. Keep probing. Every stage of the sales process, you must keep probing. Because the more you probe, you're going to get the right answers. They will actually, by answering your probe questions, lead you in the direction that they are having challenges. And once you're answering those things, they will open up more to you. Then in summary, everything they stand to gain, be it a preferred property feature, location, blah, 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 you can't help but reframe your post-purchase concern in a more positive light. At the end of the day, let them know that yes, everything is going well. And finally, for you as a salesperson, I want you to always remember something. An idiot with a plan will always beat a genius without a plan. These are the words of Warren Buffett. Why am I saying this to you? When you're going to meet your clients, zero in your head that I want to close this deal. These are the steps I will follow. Put it down as a plan. You are not even confident on how to use that plan. But as you're speaking with your clients and your prospects in your head, and because you've written down that plan, you're looking through that plan. Okay, we've actually discussed the features, we've discussed the benefit, we've discussed pricing, we've done inspection. It tells you the next thing you should do. Remember, you're scared. You are not a good salesperson on your own, Abi. But as you're thinking of these things, it's telling you the next thing that you need to do. That's why they say, not that we're idiots, but an idiot with a plan will always outperform a genius without a plan. I don't know if you guys know what I mean. So, that is life for you. And that's how it goes. So, with these few points of mine, I hope I have been able to convince you. So, we have come to the end of closing skills, the art of closing deals. Do you have questions, comments? Let's hear them.